She laughed at my phone, and I drew a line with one tap. The fork in her hand clicked against the salad plate. That brick still holds a charge, she said, light voice, eyes on my case. Vintage. A few people at the table smiled. A cousin choked back a laugh. Someone on the far end said, retro chic. The restaurant lights were warm and low. Our menus leaned against water glasses that sweated onto white linen. The room smelled like lemon and seared fish. I set my brick on the table beside my napkin. The case was plain gray. The screen had a hairline scratch across the top corner. I rubbed the edge with my thumb and took a slow breath through my nose. My son stared down at his bread plate. He didn't say anything. I reached for the bread basket and held it out to her. Want a roll? She shook her head. Carbs hate me before a beach weekend. She looked around the table with a little grin, then back at me. But it's cute. Like a museum piece. I kept my hand steady and put the basket down. I like what works, I said. The server arrived with a pitcher. More water. Yes, please. I moved my glass near him. My daughter-in-law, her name is Kira, tilted her glass too. The server smiled and poured. The water hit ice, it hissed. Kira tucked hair behind her ear. Her nails were pale pink. Anyway, she went on. Tomorrow's the spa at 11, then brunch. I booked both on the card, so we're set. She said the card the way people say the weather. Just part of life. It was the family card I set up last spring for shared errands, groceries, gas when she took my son's truck to his job site, paper towels, small things. I am the primary. I pay it in full each month. The extra card in her name was for weekends when she babysat or ran errands for all of us. It floated. It made things easy. Spa? My son asked. Gentle, careful, just facials, she said. Maya and Tash are coming. You said Saturday was open. He nodded. It is. I folded my napkin across my lap. The server left. Chop hissed. Laughter from another table drifted over. In the corner, a birthday cake glowed with thin candles. A cheer rose and fell. I took in the room like I was counting to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kira looked at my phone again. You know they sell newer ones that can actually read faces. She laughed. Your passcode must be like 4 digits. 6, I said. Classic. She sipped water and turned to my son. Did you tell your mom? We'll need the card limit. Bumped a little. The spa pre-authorizes more than they charge. He glanced at me. His eyes asked for an easy night. Mine answered yes. I put my forearms on the table. Not tense, just present. I'll handle it, I said. The bread basket came back around. I took a piece and tore it open. Steam rose. Butter softened quick on the warm crumb. The knife clicked on the little plate. I ate the bread and watched the candle smoke curl and fade across the room. We placed our orders. Kira wanted the salmon. My son asked for steak frite. I wanted the roasted chicken, extra lemon. The server wrote fast and left with our menus. The room got louder for a moment, then sank back to normal talk. Kira leaned forward. I saw the cutest tote for tomorrow, she said. Canvas with navy trim. It's like $80. But I'll only take it if the pre-auth falls back into the weekend budget. Brunch is $40 a person, plus tip. I checked. She smiled like a person who handles things. It'll all wash. I nodded. Good to know. My voice was quiet, not cold. She tilted her head. You don't need to worry about the app. By the way, she said, those things are so fussy. I'll text you if anything weird happens. She picked up her water and sipped. I picked up my phone. The old one. The brick. The screen lit up. The lock screen had a photo of my son and me at the farmer's market last fall. He was holding a bag of apples. We were laughing at a little dog in a sweater. The time read 7:12 p.m. Friday. The date sat under it, small and clear. April 11th. I remembered the day I set the family card up. It was last June, a Tuesday, 9:40 a.m. I sat at the kitchen table with a pencil and a pad. I wrote 3 lines. Rent paid. Fuel varies. Food $400 month. I pulled up the bank. I added my son as an authorized user for work stops and family errands. We added Kira later, when my back was out and she offered to do the grocery run on Saturdays. We talked about a limit. Keep it at $120 for the weekend. I said then, groceries and gas. If it ever needs more, just call. I had written it on the pad. Weekend cap $120. I had saved the card admin screen in my photos. Authorized users Kira M.I. Had a calendar entry. June 13th. family card set up. I put it on the fridge. We'll try it, we all said. Now, here, I looked at the same bank app. It opened with a soft haptic tap, like a small click in my palm. The home screen showed the balance at 0, statement cycle closing on the 25th, last payment received on the 26th. My payment. There was a little line at the bottom, primary, M. Hart. That's me. I breathed out. No fight, I told myself. Just a line. I tapped cards. I tapped manage users. My thumb knew the rhythm. The light on the phone glowed against the linen. I clicked on Kira M Extra Card. A clean screen opened. It had 3 toggles and a slider. One toggle read pause card. Another read set spending limit. The slider was set to $120 Friday, Sunday. The third toggle read online only, and it was off. I had left it off so she could buy gas at the pump. Kira turned to my son and told a story about a coworker who tried a juice cleanse. The table laughed. My son peeked at me and looked down again. He buttered bread with small strokes. I scrolled to the pause card toggle. I felt my heart tap gently in my throat. Not hard. I was not angry. I was deciding. Pausing a card just means it will not approve buys until I turn it back on. I tapped the toggle. The switch slid. Gray turned to blue. A banner slid down from the top. Extra card paused. 7:14 p.m. April 11th. I took a screenshot. The camera sound was off. Another banner arrived. Note save 2 photos. I felt the little haptic again. The bread plate was empty. The server came back with salads. Plates set down. Hands moved. A fork scraped a plate near my elbow. Kira lifted her fork and smiled. I love their vinaigrette, she said. She looked good. She is 28. She cares about clothes. She works hard at a boutique and posts their new arrivals in neat grids. She has a mother 2 states away who sends long voice notes and says things like, "How are you eating? Are you sleeping?" She is not cruel. She wants to look like she fits. My phone buzzed on the linen. A bank alert banner blinked and faded. Decline. Pre-authorization. Brunch spot. $80. 7:16 p.m. I swiped down and read the smaller line. Reason. Card paused by primary. I took a screenshot and tucked the phone under the napkin edge. A quiet wave went through me. Not a thrill. Just clarity. Kira looked down at her Apple Watch. She tapped it, blinked. She frowned for half a second. Weird, she said. Then she laughed and shook her head. It did that thing again. What thing? My son asked. The Prioth, she said, glitched. I'll try again later. Okay, he said. Another banner buzzed. Decline. Pre-authorization. Spa place $50. 7:17 p.m. I took another screenshot. I had a small folder on my phone for card admin. I saved both screenshots there. The folder already had 1. The authorized user screen, 2. A payment receipt that read, payment posted $412.86, March 26th, and 3. A grocery photo, with a small total on the bottom, $89.73, February 17th. I did not hoard proof like trophies. I kept them like receipts in a drawer so I didn't have to argue memory against memory. We ate our salads. Kira told a story about parking. She rolled her eyes. Everyone laughed. My son reached for my water and refilled it without asking. His thumb rested for a second on the outside of my glass. Warm, present. He is 32. He fixes HVAC and knows how to bleed radiators and coax old units through one more summer. He is good with tools and patient with old men who think they still know more. The mains came. Plates hot, plates fragrant. Lemon on my chicken glistened. A small pool of butter and juice ran to the rim. The server placed extra napkins and left. Kira's watch buzzed again. She tapped and looked around. Okay, she said to my son, light but tight. Did you change something? No, he said. She leaned toward him. It's not taking the hold. I can call them, but like why is it doing this? I don't know, he said. He looked at me. It was a question. I met his eyes. I didn't hide. I nodded once and lifted my phone. Kira caught the movement. Her face shifted. Not anger. Not yet. The pattern was tipping from joke to ask. She set her fork down. It made a small chime against the plate. Is the card broken? She asked. No, I said. Then why? I paused the extra card. I said. My voice was low and plain. Until we talk. Her cheeks flushed. She glanced around like she wanted to keep this small. Over a joke. It wasn't one joke, I said. I kept my eyes on her face. Not the table. Not my son. It's been jokes and gas and brunch, and Adots and I paid the bill. She blinked. I do groceries sometimes, she said. I do favors. You do, I said. And I appreciate it. This is not punishment. It's a boundary. She leaned back a half inch. Her throat worked like she had to swallow hard. Then she breathed out. Okay, she said. But the word came with an edge. So what now? You want me to send you $50? Is this a receipt thing? I felt my jaw want to set. I slackened it. Let's not do this at the table, I said. Eat, and then we'll step out for a minute. She looked at my son. He was very still. He kept his fork poised above his steak. He nodded once. Small. She pressed her lips together and lifted her fork again. We ate in a quiet that felt like the part of a song where the drum drops out and all you hear is the bass and a high note that holds. When the plates were almost finished, I put my napkin by my plate and stood. Be right back, I said to the table. I looked at Kira. Walk with me. She set her fork down. Sure. We passed the birthday table with the melted candles. We walked by the hostess stand toward the service hallway where the restrooms were. It was quieter there, a little cooler. The light was white. A framed print of lemons hung on the wall. She crossed her arms. Do you know how that felt? She asked. It's like you pulled the rug to make a point. I faced her. I didn't want to make a scene. I said, I wanted us to talk. I am the primary on that card. I pay the bill. I set it up to help us all. People can be kind and careless at the same time. So can I. When I heard the brick joke and the card felt like air, I realized I've been carrying the weight without the respect. So I put the weight down for a minute. Her eyes got shiny. She blinked hard. It was a joke, she said. And I do use it on things for you. Remember the week your back was out? I did all the runs. I remember. I said, and I thanked you. I brought you flowers and a gift card for that. I remember you texting me a photo of the receipt for $65 gas. Thank you for keeping the note. She stared at me like she wasn't sure if I was matching her or talking past her. So what now? Now we make a plan, I said. Small and clear. Respect plus agreement equals access. We can keep the extra card with a smaller weekend limit for shared errands only, like groceries and gas. Or we remove you as an authorized user and you use your own card for your plans. Her face tightened at remove. Not fear, pride. You know I don't have a big buffer, she said. My paycheck covers rent and my car and the rest. The card helps. I know, I said. That's why I've kept it. It helps the house too. But the spa, the tote, the brunch pre-auth, those are personal plans. And that's not what it's for. She stared at the lemon print. You could have just told me, she said. I'm telling you now, I said. And I want to be kind about it. A joke is small. The pattern isn't. If we keep using the card for plans that aren't agreed, we'll end in a fight we don't need. So, options 1. Smaller limit, say $75, Friday to Sunday, groceries and gas only, and we keep it paused until you text before any weekend purchase. 2. I remove you as a user and wish you well, and I'll still help if you're stuck on the side of the road. 3. We do a budget together next week and see what number makes sense for a real shared plan. She swallowed again. She rubbed her fingers against her arms, thinking. Take it down, she said after a moment. For now, $275, groceries and gas. I'll pay for the spa and brunch myself. And I'll text before I use it. Okay, I said. That's a plan. And the tote, she said. A wry twist at her mouth. Forget it. That's your call, I said. She looked up at me, and her voice lost the edge. I'm sorry about the phone comment, she said. It was cheap. Thank you, I said. My hands were calm at my sides. I accept that. And the pre-offs, she said. That was more than the limit. I should have asked. Yes, I said. She exhaled. I hate asking, she said. Small. It makes me feel like I'm not solid. You're solid, I said. Asking is not a weakness. It's respect. We walked back to the table. I picked up my phone. I opened the bank app again. I tapped set spending limit. I slid the bar from $120 to $75 for Friday, Sunday. A number field popped up. So I typed 75. A little line appeared under it. Applies to this weekend. I toggled pause card off. The blue turned gray. A banner slid down. Weekend limit set. $75 to 7:46 p.m., April 11th. I took a screenshot. I wrote a text to myself, the way I always did when I wanted a record without drama. April 11th, 7:46 p.m. Set weekend cap to $75. Groceries plus gas only. We finished dinner. The table loosened as people drifted into other stories. A server boxed leftovers. The lemon slice on my plate had gone soft and flat. I slid it into the box. My son reached for the check when it came. I put my hand on his. I got it, I said. He shook his head. I want to. We split it. My card, his card, the tip in cash. He took the receipt and folded it into his wallet. At home, I put the chicken box in the fridge and set the kettle on the stove. The burner clicked. Blue flame. I leaned on the counter and scrolled my photos. I made a little album called Family Card April. I dropped in one authorized user's Kira M from June. To payment posted $412.86. Mar Vinci 6 Decline brunch. Spot $80 to 7:16 p.m. 4. Decline spot place $50 to 7:17 p.m. 5 extra card paused 7:14 p.m. and 6th weekend limit set $75 to 7:46 p.m. I also snapped a picture of my small pad with 3 lines on it. Rent paid, fuel varies, food $400 month. I wrote, update, weekend cap now $75. Text before use. The kettle began to murmur. My phone buzzed. A text from Kira. I'm sorry for the joke. I'll pay for tomorrow on my card. I can cover spa and brunch. Thank you for helping me this year. I will text before groceries or gas. I typed back, thank you. Limit is set to $75 for shared errands Friday, Sunday. Text before use and we're good. If you want, we can sit with your budget next week. No pressure. Okay, she wrote. Tuesday night, works. I wrote. The kettle clicked off. Steam climbed, thin and white, then vanished. I dropped a tea bag into a mug and poured. The tag read .com. I smiled at that, small and private, and carried the mug to the table. Saturday came gray and cool. I woke to a soft light in the kitchen. I made oatmeal. My son texted a photo of a ladder leaning against an old brick building. Fixing a roof vent, he wrote. You okay? All good, I wrote. At 10:58 a.m., my phone buzzed. Pre-auth, spa place, $0 info only. Then, approved. None card paused. No, the bank app sometimes sent those little checks. I ignored it. At 11:12 a.m., Kira texted, paid spa from mine, used my tip money, will be fine. At peace, I wrote back, enjoy. At 12:40 p.m., my phone buzzed again, approved, grocer, $46.12. 12:39 p.m., a second text from Kira. Got fruit, milk, bread, paper towels, $46.12. Left receipt on the counter. Thank you. I walked to the kitchen and found the small slip under a magnet. The total matched. I took a photo and slid it into the album. I wrote a line in the Notes app. April 12th, grocer, $46.12 within cap. At 3:08 p.m., another text. Gas $28 3:07 p.m. And from Kira filled half tank. $28. I snapped a picture later when she left the receipt in the bowl by the door. It showed $28 pump 3, April 12th, 3:07 p.m. Numbers are not love, but they calm the mind. I stood at the sink and watched the light shift on the countertop. It had a nick where a jar had fallen last winter. I liked the nick. It told the truth. My phone rested on the table. Screen dim. Case warm from the sun. Sunday morning, she sent a photo of her and her friends at brunch. The light in the picture was clean and bright. They held coffee cups and smiled at the camera. She wore a simple white shirt. No new tote. She added a note. Paid from mine. Fun. Thanks for talking to me. You're welcome, I wrote. That afternoon my son stopped by with a bag of apples from the farmer's market. He set them on the counter and leaned against the doorway. You okay? He asked. I am, I said. You. He nodded. She's embarrassed, he said, but she's trying. She booked the spa with her card, said it felt good to not float it. I saw the texts, I said. I'm proud of both of you. He smiled, soft. You kept it gentle, he said. I want peace, I said, and respect. Both fit in the same house. He picked up my phone and turned it over in his hands. I like your brick, he said. It's solid, I said. I showed him the album. He scrolled through the screenshots. This helps, he said. No guesswork. I don't like guesswork with money, I said. Small steps. I tapped the Manage User screen. This is the power you give when you make someone primary, I said. Not to control, to steer. He nodded. She said you offered to look at her budget. Yes, I said. Tuesday. He rubbed his jaw. She say yes, he said. She wants to do it right. Her mom was always tight about money. Not mean, just tight. It turned asking into this shame thing. I understand, I said. We'll go slow. He set the apples in the fruit bowl. A tea tag lay next to it on the table from the night before. It read, "Be where you are." He flicked it with his finger and smiled. Tuesday night, Kira knocked on my door. She wore a gray hoodie and clean sneakers. She looked younger without makeup. Her hair was in a low braid. She stepped into the kitchen and rubbed her hands on her jeans. "Thank you," she said, "for doing this." "We'll keep it simple," I said. "This is not a test." We sat at the table. I put a fresh pad on the wood and wrote in big letters at the top, Budget K. I drew 3 columns, must, nice, and later. We filled in must with rent, car payment, insurance, phone, food, gas. I wrote numbers next to each. We added nice, nails, once a month, a movie, brunch, once a month with friends. Later got saved for beach trip, new tote, debt extra. She stared at the columns. "It looks less scary when it's not swimming around in my head," she said. "Money hates fog," I said. "It likes lists." She laughed. It was small and real. "I can do this," she said. "Yes," I said. We looked at the family card together. I opened the app. "Here's the current setting," I said. "Weekend limit $75, groceries and gas only. Text me before you use it." I'll reply, "Okay," so you have it in writing. Removing an authorized user means the card is no longer tied to their name. We don't need to do that if we can agree. "We can agree," she said. "Keep it at $75. I'll text if it ever needs more. I'll ask before the week starts. Not the day of." She looked up. "I want you to trust me again." "I do," I said. "And I want you to trust me too. To tell you the truth without making you small." She swallowed. "I never told you thank you for paying it off every month," she said. "I just assumed." She looked at her hands. "It's like I let comfort make me careless. I don't want to be that person." "You're not," I said. "You are the person who came to the table to write a plan." She smiled. "Okay," she said. We wrote a simple note together in my messages. I typed it and read it out loud so there was no fog. Summary, April 15th. Family card rules. Kira is authorized for shared errands only: groceries, gas, weekend cap, $75. Text before use. I'll reply, "Okay," before purchase. Personal plans, spa, clothes, meals with friends go on Kira's own card. If more is needed for family reasons, ask by Thursday night. I pay statement in full monthly. We revisit in 8 weeks. She nodded. "Send it," she said. I sent it. The small whoosh left the phone. A second later, her phone buzzed on the table. She read the message. "Copy that," she said, half a laugh in her voice. She typed back, "Agreed. Thank you." We had tea. We didn't talk about the brick. We talked about the farmer's market. She asked if I wanted flowers on Saturday. "Not peonies," I said. "Too big. Something calm." She laughed. "Daisies," she said. Got it. 2 weeks later, a tiny transfer popped up on my phone. Received $30 from K. May 1st. Note, gas from last week. I smiled. I took a screenshot and slid it into the album. I didn't need the $30. I needed the line. The line was there. One Saturday morning in May, she texted first. "Grocery run today. Is $75 still okay?" I was in the yard, pulling tiny weeds from the basil pot. "Yes," I wrote, $75. Groceries and paper towels. A few minutes later, approved. Grocer, $72.31, 10:12 a.m. She sent a photo of the receipt. She added, "Used coupons for the coffee." "Thank you," I wrote. "Proud of you." She sent a heart. Not a big one. A small one. The kind that sits in the corner of a text and doesn't announce itself. Another Sunday, she texted, "I got brunch with Maya. Paid mine. No worries. You free for tea later?" I was. She came over. We drank tea at the table. She picked up my phone without thinking and turned it over like my son had. "It's not so bad," she said, smiling at the old case. "It works," I said. She looked at me and nodded. "You do, too," she said. Then she corrected herself and blushed. "I mean, that came out weird. I mean, you work. You keep things in place. You're steady." "I know what you meant," I said. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small envelope. "This is for last month's nails," she said. You slipped me cash when I said I couldn't afford it for the wedding photos. I didn't forget. In the envelope was a 20 and a 10. Thank you, she said, for that, and for not making me feel like a child. You're welcome, I said. I pushed the envelope back toward her. Keep it. Buy paper towels next week. Send me the receipt. She smiled. Deal, she said. 2 months rolled by like that. Quiet, clear, small pings, simple texts. We stuck to the plan, and we adjusted once when gas ran high after a storm. She texted Thursday night, "Can we bump to $90 just for this weekend?" Gas jumped. I wrote back, "Approved $90 for this weekend only." I slid the slider in the app and took a screenshot. I sent it to her. She replied with a thumbs up and the gas receipt with 4,418 circled in pen. A Friday in June, I stood in line at the county library, a DVD in my hand, when my phone buzzed twice. First from the bank, decline. Online boutique $128. Reason, over weekend limit. A second later, from Kira, "Oops, that was me. I forgot to check the cap. I'll put it on mine." Then, also, "I'm returning it. It was a want, not a must." I laughed out loud, soft. The woman in front of me turned and smiled as if I'd just remembered a punchline. I waved it off and stepped forward. I went home. I put the kettle on. The little blue flame made its whispering sound. My phone buzzed again. A photo came through. A tote bag with navy trim. Later list. Kira wrote. A second text. Also, "Your phone is not a brick. It is a boundary rock." Then she added a laughing face and wrote, "Too cheesy." I typed back, "Cheesy, yes, but I'll allow it." She sent a heart. That night, as the sun slid down the side of the house, she and my son came by. We ate tacos at the table. She talked about a customer who returned a dress with tags cut off and tried to say it arrived that way. My son rolled his eyes. We laughed. It was easy. When the plates were empty, my son carried them to the sink. Kira helped me wipe the table. She held up my phone to move the placemat and paused. "Can I take a picture of this?" she asked. "Of what?" "Your case," she said. "For me. I want to remember this season by something small that worked." I smiled. "Go ahead." She set my phone on the counter and took a picture with hers. A plain gray case, a hairline scratch in the corner, a little bit of light on the screen. We sat down for tea. The kettle clicked, and steam drifted up in a small white ribbon, then disappeared. I made 3 mugs. I set them down on the table like little anchors. The house was quiet. The phone on the table did nothing at all. It just was. I thought of the line I'd written and sent that April evening. Respect plus agreement gives access. It looked simple on the screen. It was harder in the heart. But we had done it. Not with a fight. With small steps. A pause. A talk. A plan. Receipts where heat used to be. What happens next is plain. We keep the weekend cap at $75 for now. Groceries and gas only. She texts before she uses it. If she needs more for a true family reason, she asks by Thursday night. The statement lands on the 25th. I pay it on the 26th. We keep the rocks where they belong, and we make space for daisies. She laughed at my phone. One tap had set the boundary. One conversation had held it. One choice at a time, we'd found our way back to respect and love and something stronger than before. My old phone had done exactly what I needed it to do, and honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything newer.